Hello amigos and welcome back, and in today's video we're going to be showing you 7 beginner tips to help you get started in Genshin Impact and things that will help maximize your resources when you do hit AR40. So let's get into it. Alright, so my first tip guys is to make sure that you are completing all of your story quest missions and your side missions. Now these are going to give you massive amounts of EXP to help you level up and reach the ARs, especially when you get to the higher levels. These missions do run out, so make sure you are completing them sort of early game so that you can get yourself sort of AR 10, AR 16 is a big one as well, where you can unlock co-op, and AR 20 when you can finally enter the event that's out now, and you also get some great rewards and your world rank will increase. So yeah, the first tip guys is make sure you're completing it. There's going to be a lot to do, and obviously a lot of these story quests are locked behind AR walls, so if you do ever find yourself running out, just follow on for the rest of this guide and I'll explain what to do when you don't have story quests. But yeah, the main thing you want to be doing is making sure that you are completing these in a timely manner to make sure that you're maximizing the most of the EXP that this game can give you. Okay, moving on to tip number 2. Tip number 2 is make sure you are exploring this world. Genshin Impact has a great world that has been built, a lot of characters sort of in the game, a lot of enemies, varying in type, and also it's got a lot of rewards in this game that you can just find by exploring the open world. As you can see from the footage, there's me exploring, grabbing some open world, some chests out in the open world. So my advice to you is explore the world as much as you can in between your quests and your stories. If you do spot something, feel free to go and grab it or go check it out. It's okay in this game to get sidetracked. There are 2 ways to do it. You can either explore the full map, go into both regions, but do be aware that obviously some of the monsters in the other region leeway are slightly more higher level. Just make sure that your level scales accordingly. So moving on, tip number 3, and that is to mark your map guys. Make sure you are utilizing the map function of this game. As you can see from my character right now where I'm standing, I was near a spot I'd marked earlier, and I've put down that it's a completed shrine, because at the moment I'm currently going around collecting the shrines. So once I've completed one, I can mark it off, and if I am struggling with one, there are plenty of guides out where I can find out the other locations, and I can already see that this one has been marked off. You can do this with Animoculus as well. Just be careful that if you have opened up all of your map, you won't be able to put down pins, or you won't be able to mark on your map all of them because you are limited to 99. So I tend to hold those for the most important things like shrines, characters that you find in the open world, or locations of challenges that I have yet to complete. And also, when you do unlock the bounty system in this game and the reputation system, you will be able to get yourself an Animoculus way, or a way of finding Animoculus and Geoculus. I can't quite remember the name of it, but you do unlock that, and that will help you obviously find them. So tip number 3, make sure you're marking your map. Tip number 4 guys, make sure you are only focusing on 1 or 2 characters. So I know there are a lot of characters in this game and it's easy to get carried away wanting to play with them all. But trust me, early game, you only really want to focus on 2 characters. Particularly you want to pick ones that can do your main DPS and that you can get through the story quests with. You can slightly level some of the other ones, but just know that any materials you do put into those characters that you won't be using in the end game will be wasted on them. So pick 2 characters, focus on leveling their weapons and focus on leveling them up as well. Characters that you think you might want to play long term, so make sure you do your research on the characters. There are plenty of guides on my channel, and there are also plenty of guides out there from other great Genshin Impact information. So my 4th tip to you guys, make sure you focus on 2 characters in particular to level up early game. For tip number 5, you're going to want to make sure that you're saving your materials from early game so that you're saving it for the end game. So in particular, things like Hero's Wit and Adventure Experience, you want to hold on to these as much as you can, which does link into tip number 4 from this video, where you only want to be focusing on 2 characters, because in the late game, if you do get any other great characters, you know, if you put a 5-star character, you want to be able to have enough of these materials to be able to level them up so that you can play them in your current world rank. Another thing you want to definitely keep hold of early game is you want to hold on to this fragile resin. Now when you hit AR40 to AR45 in particular as well, you are going to be doing a lot of artifact runs and you will be consuming a lot of resin, so you want to make sure you're holding on to this fragile resin early game and not wasting it, which leads us to our next point, resin usage. Tip 6, guys, your resin usage and your daily and weekly challenges. So guys, in this game, Genshin Impact, we have got a resin system. Now the resin system is used, and it's used in particular to pick up rewards for certain things in this game. As you can see, currently here on the screen, I'm doing a leyline challenge, which I'm going to then spend at the end. I'm going to spend 20 resin to pick up my rewards. So upon completion of this ley line, we are going to get a ley line blossom, and upon touching it, it's going to ask us to spend our resin, open up, and we will get some rewards. For this one, we're going to get adventure experience and wanderer's advice, which is helpful in leveling up our characters. So in terms of daily stuff, you want to be daily using your resin. So if you go to your map, at the top you can see how much resin you've used for the day. Now I've only used 20 here in this video, but essentially it's got a refresh rate of 1 every 8 minutes, so you always want to make sure that that's never full, because if it's full, you're wasting resin. So make sure that you're using systems like the condensed resin system, which has been introduced in patch 1.1, where you can actually store up to 40 resin. You can make 3 blocks of those upon obviously making sure that you have the reputation system active and that you can craft these, of course. You can then store yourself 3 resin blocks of 40 resin each, which you can use to get more rewards. So again, make sure you're using your resin. Make sure you're also completing your weekly challenges, such as Storm Terror, and such as, I haven't got it on this one, but we also have the other one from Wolven Dome. Make sure you're using your resin here, and also world bosses as well. You're going to want to hold on to those for when you're leveling characters as well, but you can use your resin on these. Also guys, while we're on the subject of weekly and daily stuff, make sure guys that you are completing your daily challenges, or your daily quests I should say. These are going to be out every day, and from them you're going to be able to earn 10 primo gems per quest. There's always going to be 4, so that's 40 primo gems, and once you've handed those in, you will get an extra 20 primo gem from the Adventure Guild, and also making sure you will get some extra EXP for your characters. So guys, in total, for step 6, you want to be making sure you're using your resin daily, and if you're not using it, you want to be storing it. Also making sure you're completing your daily quests to get those primo gems, and also making sure you're completing weekly bosses to get the best out of your rewards and the best out of your resin. And for my 7th and final tip, it's the easiest one of all guys: have fun. Genshin Impact is a great game with a massive open world with tons of stuff to explore and find. My advice to you guys is don't rush to get to AR40 as quickly as possible and expand all your content. While there is a lot in this game, if you obviously do rush through it all, there will be not as much to play. So my advice to you guys is have fun and don't rush. Well guys, that's it from today's video. Those were 7 beginner tips to help you get started in Genshin Impact patch 1.1. Let me know what you think about this video in the comment section down below. Are there any recommendations or any other tips that I've missed? Let me know. Make sure you check out the other videos on my channel for more Genshin Impact information. Be sure to like, comment and subscribe, and turn on notifications so you can find out when I'm posting again. From your boy FrostiesAmigo, I'm out.